They're all the best of their types, their genres. They're all very different types of theatre, but I think they all could stand up on the row of best of and feel quite proud of themselves. And we're quite proud we're doing them. Macbeth, I think, is one of the great thrillers about a tyrant. And the world has quite a lot of tyrants in it at the moment, so it's a rather good time to remind us of what uncontrolled power and power for its own sake and ambition that leaps over rational thought and starts to serve itself. I think we're in for a very exciting evening, full of battles, full of fantastic poetry, and searching questions about the nature of tyranny and terror. J.M. Barrie is mostly famous for Peter Pan. This is quite a different animal, but again it has at its centre a young woman, and in a very different way looks at youth and mortality and the journey into adulthood. And this is a haunting. And it's the haunting that starts off when the young girl Mary Rose goes on holiday to Scottish Islands. And something happens to her there, something very unnerving. It's a rather kind of creepy story, which has wit and sense of fun, but is mainly there to make you shiver. And I'm not going to tell you any more than that, other than to say that it's the theatre equivalent of a page-turner. So it's a perfect place to be in the autumn, I think. Come in out of your houses and risk coming here to be scared. This is the story of 4 young people who get sent out of London during the Blitz to escape the bombs, and they arrive at the country, and there they find a wardrobe. But through this wardrobe is the land of Narnia, full of snow and full of extraordinary creatures, and there's a great battle of good and evil going on there, much as there is outside with Hitler and the Allies. So you could take this play on a number of levels, really, which is why it's a great family show, I think. You come along, and as a child, you will just see a fantastic story about 4 young people at the centre of it, engaging with Mr. Tumnus the Fawn and Mr. and Mrs. Beaver, and really being transported in hopefully a very joyous way, and get you excited for Christmas. I think what I'm really excited about this one is most people haven't seen this play before in Scotland, and it's like a hidden gem that was written just before he wrote those great classics, before his name became well known in Broadway and across the world. And it is a fantastically beautifully written human story of 2 brothers, and I think what Miller's looking at it is, why is it that some people are lucky and some people aren't? And looking at that in a personal context, in a social context, in a political context, as Miller's works will always be, with the American dream in the background. But it's not a didactic piece, you're not told what to think. And that's what makes it so seductive and human, and you end up travelling with these 2 young men, one who becomes increasingly successful in life and the other who falters. And it's trying to make sense of that. Irma Vep is, I keep on referring it to the kind of naughty, mischievous boy of the season, and it's an extraordinary piece by an American comedian called Charles Ludlam, and it's performed by 2 actors but has several characters in it. Each of them plays several characters, and indeed the quick change is part of the star of it, where you have 1 second they're playing one person and the next second they're playing the other in a seemingly impossible way. And it's a great haunted house story, really, marvellously daft, taking the myths of werewolves and vampires and Egyptology into a classic haunted house story. It's an extraordinary, inventive, theatrical piece. This piece is so theatrical, you couldn't do it on television. It wouldn't work on television, it wouldn't work in film. So it's a unique piece of theatre that I think you're going to come along to, and I think it's going to be a real cult. I think this is going to draw a lot of people into our theatre, I hope. The Curse of a Starving Class is a fantastic play by a Pulitzer Prize-winning author called Sam Shepard, and it all centres around this extraordinarily, slightly scary family who are living not on the breadline actually, but they're starved of something. But it's a mad black comedy where you'll come in and you will enjoy the monstrosity of what you see before it in the same way as you enjoy Basil Fawlty and the monstrousness of Fawlty Towers. This is a particular kind of monstrousness rooted in west of America and looking at where the West has lost. This is a wonderful, intelligent play about how a Danish physicist and a German physicist went towards the development of the atom bomb during the Second World War. And so you have got these two scientists engaging with a game of cat and mouse, really, with a bomb in their pocket, and it's a fantastic tale, very, very accessible. I think as soon as you see science in the subject, you wouldn't get, oh, what do I need a degree to understand this? Well, you don't. It's about two human beings' skills and knowledge, and what do you do with them.